Wednesday, December 10th now, and we've got a lot to talk about. We got rain in the Pacific Northwest, a straight up atmospheric river that's already produced almost a half foot of rain in parts of the Oregon, northern Oregon and southern Washington. It's a fine line in the rain, so they've got flood warnings and up for the next couple of days, and a lot of that has to do with snowmelt. It's going to be a real warm system, which many of these atmospheric rivers are. Dense fog advisories in the valley, yeah, you knew that, and it's not going away. It depends where you live. It's been a hell of a couple of weeks for many folks in places like Antioch and down in Fresno, where temperatures have been just getting into the upper 40s at best, upper 40s for daytime highs. It doesn't warm up overnight much at all. We've got the model shift coming. If you were with me yesterday and we looked at the computer models, there's a little bit of a shift, a little bit earlier to the opportunity for not only getting rid of the fog, but for some significant rain and snow. That's coming as well. And we'll look at the difficulties making snow up there that they're having right now, and much, much more, including nature snacks and a lot of California live pictures. This is, and we do this every day, and it is fun. I like it. Oh, and look at this. What the hell, right? San Francisco Press Club last night. Yeah, I know. It's funny because I'm not an awards guy, but I was pretty stoked with this. This was awesome. It was very nice. It was a Lifetime Achievement Award. It was fun to see everybody because I've worked in the industry so long, known a lot of people, and I was at Channel 2 so long that I've forgotten all the people I'd worked with at Cron and CBS and Channel 50 and Santa Rosa, and so it was just fun to see everybody. It was a big deal. It was awesome. So I was really stoked about it. We'll talk more about that later. Here's the rainfall accumulations as of the last 72 hours. And I want you to, first off, that's the border, right? Oregon, Washington. And I wanted you to see the line between the haves and the have-nots in terms of rainfall and not rainfall. And you can see it's just a lot of rain up in here, down into northern Oregon. And then when you get down here, like, I hope you can see, I'll move it up a little bit. Oops. Oh, that's what you get for trying to do that. Let's go up here. The disparity between the rain line and the not rain line. So we come down here. This is a tough map to read, but last 72 hours in down by Coos Bay on the coast, which you'd expect a lot of rain in the hills, 1/4 inch in the last 3 days. And you go north a little bit, and inland you got up to 2.5 inches. A little bit, I'm talking 20 miles. And then you go another 60 miles north, and you've got 3.5 inches of rain. That's an atmospheric river for you. They're very pronounced. If you're in the have zone, you're having. If you're in the have not zone, which Coos Bay is, you're not getting much, it's stunning. I've been in the Bay Area. This is the fog footprint from this morning. Could have been from yesterday morning or the subsequent last 5 or 6 mornings. But I've seen it in the Bay Area, an atmospheric river, like I keep saying, but it's when you see it in real time, in real life, it is stunning. We got one night, I was living up in Marin, and we lived up in kind of near Cascade Canyon, and they got like 11 to, I want to say it was 14 inches, I can't remember now. It was like 11 inches of rain in Cascade Canyon. In San Francisco, there was like 1/4 inch. 11 inch, a foot of rain, 1/4 inch of rain. That was an atmospheric river. So they're very selective. So this is the fog footprint. This is this morning, right? Redding, Bakersfield, in the Bay Area. Look at the coastal sections. It's warm. San Diego, Southern California, Santa Barbara, 70s and 80s the last couple of days. Warm in Tahoe. Temperature right now, well, it doesn't work because I don't know when you're watching this, but in the morning, this morning, mid-morning, it was in the 40s. It'll be in the 50s and 60s today at Lake Tahoe. So they're trying to make snow, but it's hella difficult to make snow when it's this warm. You want, Billy Hudson's telling me 28 degrees is what you want, and they're not getting that at all. And this ridge of high pressure, this is the water vapor loop. And you can see this is the AR and just water vapor. This is upper level water vapor, but we know this extends all the way through to the surface, essentially. We did that yesterday. But that's a big ridge of high pressure. And this is the mechanism, this big high, spinning like this. And then there's this low up in here, spinning like that. So you got these two gears that are turning different directions, and they drive this atmospheric river. And then you can see, just how clear and dry we are in California. There are changes coming though, which is pretty awesome. This is a couple live cameras just to kind of take a survey on the day. This is the fog up in the Shasta Valley, Eureka area. Eureka could hit 60 degrees today. Mount Shasta is waiting on the snow. It's warm. The inversion's warm. That's Mount Shasta from the Goose Lake area. And can you see it? I think you can. And this area is beautiful right there. Mount Shasta, and then Lassen's down here. The Goose Lake region could get into the low 60s today, 62 degrees, which is not expected in December. This is Crescent City, Smith River Drainage Basin. Crescent City today in the low 60s as well. And you see a lot less cloud cover than you did yesterday. And that has to do with that ridge of high pressure. When we looked at the water vapor, you see how it was arching up. It took the clouds and moved the whole cloud shield to the north, which is part of the atmospheric river. But yesterday we had part of that atmospheric river, the southern end of it was kind of just dipping in, and we were seeing the cloud cover. Crescent City today, like I say, low 60s. And then this is an interesting shot. This is down by kind of looking out across the northern Central Valley. This is Mount Shasta. Redding is right here, and you see the fog right up to the edge. Right up to the edge. So this is the fog that leads down to Orland, Red Bluff, and those areas. And it's been a familiar footprint. And I do remember 1977, that big drought, one of the biggest droughts I can remember. Well, it's the biggest drought I can remember. And this is in that drought we did have, this is San Francisco, right? Where is it? We did have a lot of Thule fog. I just don't remember it coming into San Francisco like this. That's Sutro Tower. Mount Tam, fog, not coastal fog, radiation fog. And then we've got this fog. This is it, Walnut Grove. That's in the Delta, 47 degrees today. That's it. Sun came out a little bit yesterday for many, but not for many. Not in the deep Central Valley and Walnut Grove and places like that. Not clearing. Yesterday we did see some clearing in places like Walnut Creek, and parts of San Rafael saw a little bit of sunshine. This is Mono Lake, which is a beautiful spot, northeastern California, or eastern California. They'll go 60 degrees today. And then this will be Mount Diablo, looking out into the Central Valley. So we're kind of just working our way down the coast. And what you're seeing is everything above a couple thousand feet is having beautiful weather, and they continue to. And everything below, in this case, this is Livermore Valley over here, kind of which way we face. We're facing 90, so we're facing west, east. So, and then this is Livermore. This is out towards the Big Valley, out towards Stockton and those areas. I know fog's good for some things, like some of the agriculture interests like it, and it does hold fuel or terrestrial moisture. I can't think of the term, but you're keeping moisture in the ground. I know. Speaking of that, I stayed out late last night. I didn't go to bed till like midnight, which is late for me. Yeah, it was awesome. Julie Hayner came. I love Julie. And Heather Holmes showed up. They all surprised me, which was really cool. Because it's sort of embarrassing when you get an award. I'm not good at it. I used to say I'm the worst. I'm a bad celebrity. I really am. I never was good at it. Like the people, like TV people or movie people or radio people, or whoever you are, there's really some good celebrities. They're out and about in the community, and they're just everywhere, and they love it. And I'm sort of a little, as you can tell, the fact that I'm bumping into mountain lions and white sharks and stuff is it's been a lot of time just out by myself, kind of like a hermity dude, but not that bad. But it was just it was really nice when a lot of people turned up for me. Not a lot of people turned for the event. It's a big event, but a lot of people turned up for me, which was really I got to remember to do that for other people, because it meant a lot actually. But it was cool. It was kind of exciting. Plus, I wish my dad and mom were alive, because press club's a big deal. It feels like less of a big deal now because of the change in media, but it probably will turn the corner, because they're starting to introduce more digital platforms and things like that. Things like what I'm doing here. We talked about a lot last night. This is Laguna Beach, and they're going to go 68 degrees. Now we're into the National Weather Service product stuff. This is Seattle, Tacoma, flood watches and warnings. I always say this to you guys. The flood watch is like, yes, things are possible. be prepared, right? But when you see warnings, it's like take action because it's probably going to go down. Not always. I've seen like tornado warnings are like that. Sometimes you'll miss, but it's like, dude, you gotta take action. You gotta at least point the car in the right direction and have the door open. But when you see flood warning, which is what we're seeing here in these green areas in the Pacific Northwest, that means there's going to be flooding on a lot of these rivers. And then a lot of the models are suggesting, and we know this, if you spend any time with me at all, you know why this is. This is the atmospheric river, but it's also, because the atmospheric rivers, it's in a cyclonic region of the atmosphere, meaning there's not a lot of jet stream lift. There's a lot of jet stream transportation, and that's we have is transportation of this moisture. How is it going to rain? Where's the lift? Well, Cascades are the lift, right? 12,000 vertical feet of higher than that, and that's going to take off. That's going to melt a bunch of snow. Some of the snow levels are well over. I mean, they're well over 10,000 feet. I mean, I think they're gonna. Yeah. So that's a big story. That's the big story. And what's today? Wednesday. So all day today. And pretty good chunk of the day tomorrow, and then they not out of the woods because there's something behind it. But that's the National Weather Service out of Seattle. This is National Weather Service out of I guess Oregon or Portland, yeah. And what's interesting is this thing has shifted further north. So here's Astoria here, and you can see that most of this is the heavier rains, the watches, the warnings are all northern Oregon. You get down here to Albany and Salem and here, Oregon City, Portland, it's all north. And it's a fine, narrow line. And that's that thing I mentioned earlier with San Francisco versus Marin in those atmospheric river events. The dense fog advisory, this is the National Weather Service out of Monterey or Sacramento. What are these, Sacramento guys? Hazardous beach conditions. That's a beach hazard statement. A little bit to do with the high tides, a little bit to do with the swell. Swell's not that, it's bigger. It's like 6 to 8 feet. And then this fog, you go, why is the fog, the dense fog advisory right here and here? And what's happening is the fog's been going on so long in Fresno that it's off the ground. We mentioned that the other night too. So it's up around 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet. And so that's where the dense fog is. The time I told you I had to look out the door at the white line, I was coming up out of Chico where you could see, and you get up into that inversion. Right at the inversion is a dense atmosphere, hard to see through. So that's why the dense fog advisory is segmented like that. And then you see it down here as well. And they're just talking about don't drive late at night. And there it is again. So dense fog advisory in the valley. And just get used to that. And then these guys, in LA, man. I'm just reading a history. I'm reading a book by, I guess did Starr write this one? I think Ken Starr wrote it about Southern California and the water and Mulholland and all that stuff, and about the movie industry, which is fascinating. But they're talking about how much because these guys come out from the east, they're making movies out here because you got 24 hours of sun, the weather's dry, you can have outdoor sound stages and things like that. That's why the movies move, because they used to have to light the hell out of it. In the old days, the old equipment was kind of weak. So, they started coming out here. I think it was D.W. Griffith came out here, where you know that name from early movies, from the early stuff, and he set up shop. D.W. Griffith, and they loved this weather. And that's what I'm looking at right there, 86 degrees in Riverside today, 73 in San Clemente, 80. I mean, it's December 10th. So that's their, it's kind of ironic that that's their watches and warnings in San Diego. Oh, it's going to get really warm and be extra nice again today. This is the forecast, or these are the forecast highs for today. Yeah, it was awesome last night. It's funny, though. I literally, yeah. Like I did, I'm funny about, it's Lifetime Achievement Award is kind of, so this is today, this will be tomorrow. It's sort of interesting because you guys, most of us are a little older on this page, but it's kind of like, I'm not done. Kind of feels weird, it's like, that's what they gave Charlie Chaplin, right, at the Grammys when I was in high school, and he came out in a wheelchair. I'm like, that's what they do when you start to, I don't feel like I'm winding down, but I was super flattered. Anyway, I'm kind of being braggy, sorry, but it was like, that's like you get so many awards. Like I have this thing. This thing's awesome, actually, just because it looks so freaking cool. It's an Emmy, but you kind of, this is a little secret nobody really in the public really knows. Those Emmys, So a lot of awards are. I guess I didn't realize this. I thought you just got things like for football, like most valuable player. Like right when I was playing football, you get a trophy. It was like, oh yeah, that's for being most points scored or whatever. It's a trophy. It was linear. These things like the not the one thing that happened last night, but the Emmy. That's a you gotta enter, and you gotta pay money, right? So, and I always thought, oh, they'll just come to me because I'm so good. And they never came to me, and I realized, oh, I got to enter. And you have to spend a bunch of money. And it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like you should get awarded stuff. Yeah, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like, so anyway, I love it. I just think it looks awesome anyway. But that means a lot right there. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so enough. But, and then this is the Atmospheric River, and this is precipitable water. And you see it, it's focused where it is. We know right where the line is. Can you see it? And then it clicks north a little bit. That's Thursday afternoon. So Thursday looks pretty wet most of the day. And then watch this. Something happens that we did changes, which I think you're going to like. So there's the moisture plume. That's, and then look at this thing set up. Now that, as you know, that would be an AR for sure. Because look, again, what am I talking about? I don't call ARs easy, but I do when you're tapping the subtropics. And you got 3,000 miles worth of moisture coming in, if that happens. But anyway, watch what it does. Sweeps down the coast. And that's going to be a good rain event for us. And that's what I was alluding to earlier, that's December 15th. So that's only a week away. For a while there, it was like yesterday's some stuff. Remember I said it was like this is dismal. It's not so dismal. That's rain snow. I mean, high snow levels. So we'll see. And then look at that. Look at that, right? So that's shifted back to wet pattern. So that's a big shift from where we were yesterday. So when we go out way out in those model, road trips, way deep into like the 6 days out, like this kind of thing, just remember that's what can happen. At least the models have shifted. They may shift back the next run, but I'm just saying that's an encouraging sign. And for the fog, if you're sick of that. And then here is the Pacific Northwest. That's Seattle, Washington area. And then this is just that's through December 14th. That's through December 16th. And then it starts to open up. Then it's an equal opportunity weather system around the 18th, which is when this starts, and then it comes in. So we'll see it more clearly coming up. This is sea level pressure, rainfall, a little bit offshore wind there. That might clear us out a little bit. That's on Friday morning. There might be a little bit less fog in the North Valley, most certainly, Friday morning. But then the pressure gradient goes away. I'm just looking at the dark lines, how close together they are. And then here comes the rain to the north. And then that is the 15th, 16th. So this is what begins to crack the system south. And then that's the 17th. And then it looks like a little cavalcade of potential. Well, that's good. That's good. That's the bad boy right there. 1920. So right now, December 20th. I mean, this is a little something right here, but I wouldn't count on it. It's just a little something. But what's really something, if you're paying attention to the thickness lines, you'll see those come off pretty quick, indicating a frontal passage. And also, we know there's subtropical moisture. That's that atmospheric river tied into it. So that has a lot of potential, and that is, again, on December 20th. That's a Saturday. And here we are through December 15th. Crescent City, you're getting a little wet. Point Arena, you get a little something on the 16th. And then it breaks loose. You can kind of see it, right? Just whittling. You're just working that high down. And then let's see where we are now, the 19th. And then here it comes, right? That looks nice. That we weren't seeing that yesterday, man. Just not that early and not that far south. Okay, but we're going way out, and then we know what this is. It's just accumulation, and you'll see that same pattern depicted. Just kind of, This is, again, that's it right there, December 20th. Ooh, and then it looks like it really opens up on the west coast. Again, that's down the road, though. We're way down the road, way ahead of ourselves. Jet stream, you can see that clipper, I think. This is the ridge, broad ridge. It ain't going anywhere. And then here's this trough that's created this clipper here, which the clipper just gets its name from, comes off the Canadian plate typically, and it's moving quick. It's clipping along. I think that's basically the origins of that. And then these are the watches and warnings, and they are all where you would expect them to be. Winter storm warnings, and they're all, that's the line. That's the atmospheric line. And so, everybody south until you get, so here's the ridge, there's the atmospheric river, and then there's the trough. See how everybody in here is just high and dry down in here. Watches and warnings, so it's mostly in the Pacific Northwest and the Northwest. And then we got above average. That makes sense based on what we've seen. This is above average rainfall. That's encouraging through the 19th. If that happened, that would be, if it's a big thing. But if that happened, what we just saw, that model run, if that happened, that would be a really good event for my friends in the mountains who are, we live in dialects, and you don't want the grape industry to suffer. You don't want the peach industry to suffer. You don't want the ski industry to suffer. You don't want the tourism. The California is made up of all these industries, and if the ski industry suffers, we all suffer in some way. Whether if you washing dishes up in Truckee, your job is going to be in jeopardy because they're not filling the restaurants. This is the last 24 hours. And these are 2.5 or above. So let's see what we got. It's kind of quiet today. Oh, yeah, really quiet. Wow, I thought I saw more than that. So Pacific Ring of Fire. We just daily look at the earthquakes. You can see 3 out here. And the Ring of Fire, in case you're wondering, it's a plate, Pacific plate. This is the plate. This whole thing's moving. So when we had a quake here the other day, that 7.0, and then a quake here, and then a quake here, another 7.0 a couple days ago, and then we had 8 quakes in San Ramon, I can't help but shift my thinking to, it's all connected. It's all connected. And you're like, how could something that far away across the Pacific impact our plates? I am a firm believer that it does, because it's just it's a chain reaction, right? It's that puzzle, right? You have a puzzle, you put your hand on it, you turn. Let's say it's only a 100-piece puzzle. You turn, a piece way out here on the edge is going to move, right? You're turning it here in the middle, but way over here, because that's what faults are. They're just like puzzle pieces that fit together. And listen, we don't know all the faults. We act like we know. We know the San Andreas. We know the big, obvious faults, but we don't know all the faults. The faults are like ocean currents. We know all the big ones, like El Nino and PDO and Madden-Julian oscillation. We know all those. We know those because they're big, they're ugly, and you can't miss them. But all the little subtleties, and that's what earthquakes are. This is surf. It's weird right now. This is today Ocean Beach. It's 4 to 6, maybe 5 to 6 in some places. It just doesn't look right. There's a lot of tides still moving. The king tides are not official king tides, but they are still high and they are still low. So there is some minor flooding in places, but just hard to get waves today, truthfully. Let's go to here. We can do this. I kind of like the quad box, like red zone. And as a surfer, you spend hours. It's amazing how, I'll sit here and watch this, and like nobody. There's a guy out. I know there's really nobody out. But if I see a dude just bag a wave right there on this kind of closeout right there, I'd be like, I'm going, jumping. Before you know it, you're in the car and you're driving across the bridge. You guys do the same thing. I know you do. And literally, you just it takes almost like that wave right there just did that to me. You're like, oh yeah, it's getting better. It's getting better. It's getting better. In reality, it is getting better. I don't think it's going to be an awesome day. And then these, I have a bone to pick with this guy right here. See that guy? You're like, what's he doing? He's on, and I know I'm probably get heat for this. I hate battery powered anythings unless you're in a wheelchair or you're old. He's on we call them foils, which are awesome. They're kind of cool. You've seen this where you surf and it's a wing underneath and it lifts out of the water with almost zero friction, and you can ride everything. And they surf into them, they paddleboard into them. This guy's got a motor, and I have to tell you, being in the ocean, and being around, I mean, they're not surfing the same way as you are, but there's something weird about, because you don't need the motor, you can do it with a paddle, and so to me that's just kind of greedy. I know, yeah, I sound old now, don't I? But I do. I struggle with electric things because I feel like this whole society is all about losing weight, and because we have to, because we're all fat. It's like, dude, that's not going to help. I mean, maybe he's in good shape. There he goes again. I mean, he does get lots of waves, and it's very different than surfing. And I get the joy of it, but you can do that without a lithium polymer battery that, I don't know. Like, there's a surfer. That's my boy. Paddled in, used his arms, right? Guy can surf too. That's Halama. Okay. I'm in one of those moods today. Appreciate you subscribing and all the things you do. This is Mount Shasta. I got to start here. Mount Shasta today. Nature snacks. Snow's kind of gone way up the mountain. And that's the other thing is this is, look how high the snow level is. It's not the snow level today, but the actual, how the snow line, I guess, it's pretty high. So, but again, early December, and technically, this is Mount Whitney, 14,505. Is it? I wrote it down because I always forget. I get the numbers mixed up. 14,505. Yeah, and Whitney's here, tallest mountain in the contiguous United States. McKinley's taller up in Alaska. A lot of mountains, yeah. And then this is the North Star, where the temperature's 46 degrees, and they are going at it, man. They're snowmaking, although they're going to be colder than Palisades because they're kind of especially down low. They might be a little bit colder, but right now it says it's 46 degrees at North Star. A lot of skiers, yeah, but it's going to be busy this weekend. I think what happens too is people buy passes and you got to use them, right? Because you paid a lot of money. They pay a lot of money for season passes, icon passes. This is, Mammoth. Yeah, of course. How could I not know that? Look at all the snow they got. Mammoth right now is, let's dig up the temp for you. It's 50 degrees. But it's a high mountain too. It's up pretty high. I'd love to see where this Mr. Toads goes. Oh, wow. Look at the snow coverage on that hill. Yeah, so they've done a nice job managing their snow, and they actually started with more snow. The Farallon Islands, these are California sea lions. If you look on the rocks, you can see them. Nice day at the Farallon Islands. The valley fog not getting there. You can see the swells a little gerbled up. Yeah, sanctuary. Oh, that's fun. Watching the seagulls nest. Farallon Islands, like 26 point something miles offshore. And I've been out there a couple of times. It's fun to go. It's hard. I've been on the island a couple of times, just back in the day for TV stories and stuff. And then this is Venice Beach, where it'll go 77 degrees today. It's such an active crowd. So don't get me going on electric things. I do get the value in them. And if I'm a little kid, I want one of those electric scooters. But I think it's the wrong direction for a society that's worried about people buying drugs so they don't eat. It's like, well, yeah, maybe don't have so much I'm saying that's fine. You can do that. But when I see, people out like in the ocean, which is, yeah, I sound old. Okay. Listen, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. I don't think I have anything else. I thought I had something else. And yeah, I stayed out. I didn't go to bed till like 12:30 last night. So I was kind of tired. All right. You take care. Have a good day. Appreciate telling a friend too.